Talk about lucky. This was a freecycle find, ironically. I did not get this from the usual place. I usually get my old stuff, and, well, I could upplay the suspense a little bit by saying this is a bit of an interesting little specimen, but if you're looking at the title of the video, you probably already know what this is. It is an aluminum iMac, and one of the first aluminum iMacs. And in this case, this one's actually kind of a neat one, because I actually had one of these not long after they launched. It was actually my temporary machine, because I had a late 06 MacBook Pro that unfortunately had gotten stolen out of my house not long after I got it, and this is kind of the machine I used in the interim while the replacement was decided. So, yeah, this machine has some history with me, like this specific model. But this was very much a freecycle find, and it was a pretty lucky find, as you'll soon see, because I've already fired it up and done everything. This is just kind of a little overview of this particular machine. It was pretty caked in dust, and this thing looked like it had basically just sat in somebody's dusty house for, well, years, and never got a good clean. The little air vent under here had dust all caked up in it, so did the vents up here. Everything was just caked in dust, but a quick wipe down, and it seems to be alright. The next point of attack is to actually get inside the machine, clean it out, and see how bad it is. But for right now, it actually runs pretty well and pretty quiet, so I don't think it's done too bad. Over here, if we just nudge the camera over this way, we can see our card of ports here. Audio in and out, 3 USB 2.0, Firewire 400, Firewire 800. So, looking at this from the Mac point of view, this is very much a real computer, to steal a phrase out of UXW Bill's book here, because it's got Firewire and headphone jacks, if we want to really roast Apple for that. But we got our gigabit Ethernet and a mini DVI port, which kind of sucks, because that means I can't even begin to test the monitor out, because the only thing I have is one of these little dongles here for Thunderbolt or mini display ports. But yeah, there's not much going on around back, so let's get it around front. But before we do that, real quick, it did come with some peripherals. It came with one of these little guys, so now I have two of them. It's seen better days, but it does work. As we can see here, get the green light, it does work. I also got one of these guys. Now this is not the one that came with the machine. This is actually the one I had in stock here, but this one's kind of broken, so I'm not actually going to use it. I got one of these with the machine, and it's in pretty good condition, so I'm restoring it as we speak, but I'm not going to actually use this keyboard because it's got some broken keys, and I don't want to have to deal with that right now. So, to make this a bit simpler, go ahead and grab one of my USB keyboards and get this all set up. Nice. Now you can see that this really is kind of one of those before the days of LED backlights. You got some just crap around the edges here. It's no bueno. So now we are booted, kind of, and my office chair is getting right in my way. But as if I don't think I said what model this is. This is actually a mid-07 iMac, 24-inch. And we should have mouse. Yes, we do have mouse. And it wants me to set up the keyboard, which we are not going to do because we don't need to do that. But now we are going to see what makes this machine so special. Go to About This Mac. You will see right there that this is a 2.8 gigahertz Core 2 Duo. Now, this is not a Core 2 Duo. This is actually a Core 2 Extreme that, for whatever reason, Apple System Profiler does not identify as a Core 2 Extreme. Go to System Report, it might actually identify it. No, it does not. We can identify it by the 800 megahertz front side bus. And we can probably also identify it if we go and grab a copy of Geekbench, which I will do right now. And I was going to jump cut here, but I want to just kind of point out here how fast this thing is. Like, I can browse the web, like for basic things, I can just browse the web super fast. It's like very, very quick on its feet for being a Core 2 Duo machine. I've had, or Core 2 anything, I should say. This speed is only matched by the Core 2 Quad Dell Optiplex that I built some time ago. And Ryan has that machine now. But we're going to go ahead and bring up Geekbench, and we're not going to run a benchmark because what's the point, but it should tell us what we've got in here for a processor. But, like, I'm using this machine. This machine is 11 years old, and I can use, like, it does not feel 11 years old, and it's running LCAP. Maybe it's just a testament to how optimized LCAP is versus Sierra and High Sierra, but I don't notice any slowness in it. It's really kind of profound. So, let's fire up Geekbench. Well, don't have my keyboard mapped properly here. Geekbench. I'm just gonna... that's not what I wanted to do. I don't have this keyboard remapped because I'm not gonna use it with this machine. You only really notice slowness with the hard drive because, I mean, coming from a machine with an SSD, like, it's so much faster. We're gonna go ahead and just do this later. It should tell us what we've got for a processor. But as you can see here, it's an X7900, which is the best processor you can get for any of these machines, even aftermarket. If you were to buy one of these machines and you're trying to upgrade after the fact, I believe you can get a Penryn based Core 2 Duo, but it'll be slower, but it'll support High Sierra, or Sierra at the very least, with DOS 3.1's patcher, but that's still a downgrade in speed for some future proofing later on. This machine, this processor is currently the fastest for one of these machines you can get, and you can also upgrade the GPU, I believe, to an 8800 or NVIDIA 8800, which will give it a fair performance boost. But the problem is, on the used market, those are still kind of expensive, so you don't really want to deal with that. So this machine, again, was free. It was free. I can't believe it. And the reason I point out the processor is because that was a build-to-order option. Like, this is literally the most expensive iMac you could have gotten in 2007. But as you can hear, like, I can barely hear the fan spinning at all. Now, another bit of an oddity with this machine is it was one of those rare machines that kind of had one of those awkward middle steps in hard drive capacity, because if we go to storage here, you'll see that this is a 640 gigabyte hard drive. It's a Hitachi, so I'm not worried about it failing at any point in its time. But still, it's interesting that pretty much it is a 640 gig drive, because that was just, those drives I feel were actually quite rare, because generally it goes to 250 up to 500, then from there you just go up to 1 terabyte. You don't really bother with any of the middle steps. Actually, no. There's 750, but those still, you don't see those every day. Generally, when you go, if you're going to go anywhere above 500, you just go for the 1 terabyte option at that point. Like, there's no real point going to for a half step in between. So seeing these 640 gig, 750 gig drives is kind of amusing to me. Anyway, it's pretty much all I really need to talk about with this machine. I mean, I can bring up some web browsing here. I mean, kind of keep it retro. Let's kind of look back at Lonely Planet, which is a thing Apple used way back to test out their stuff. And like, again, I'm like just scrolling through here and like, you notice it's not lagging that much. Like, this feels just as fast as my MacBook Pro, my mid-2015. Let's try browsing Reddit with its new redesign. Oh, I forgot to add the requisite r/. But as you can see, like, it's not that bad for being a 10, 11-year-old computer. Like, this is pretty crazy. And I can go to YouTube. And what am I thinking here? Play some good old AVE. Should probably turn down the volume a little bit. But like you can see, like, I'm just using this machine as normal. Show volume in the menu bar, and it just does not feel bad at all. It feels super fast.
My name is Cooper Adrian.
And
I am Tom Cruise's stunt double on Mission Impossible Fallout.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop today. A treat especially. Early 90s mesh shirt, even in keeping with the party theme. We're trying to make the stank of a...
And as you can see, like, we're running at 1080p 30, and I mean, it's fine. Like, this is getting farther than any other Core 2 machine I've really tested this on. Now, where it begins to really kind of falter a bit, let's see if I can pull from my history here. Here we go. Now, Eric the Car Guy has always been 60 FPS, and this is where it starts to struggle a bit. You can kind of see the lag a little bit. Yeah, I mean, for basic web browsing, this is perfect. Like, this is a actually surprisingly decent machine. The only issue is it's stuck on El Capitan. Like, you cannot get this up to Sierra or High Sierra because, you know, screw you, that's why. Now, I'm sure you can run Windows on this and actually get further up to date. In fact, let's go ahead and test out our DVD drive. Good old copy of Windows 10 here. And that's not good. We might be in trouble. Now we're kind of seeing it kind of slow down a little bit. Oh, yeah, that's... That's not good. Did it just eat my disc? Ooh, I think we might have a problem here. Well, I guess our DVD drive is completely fuckered, so not all is well in the world with this machine. I'm also noticing a bit of an issue with the display itself. Specifically, I'm gonna go ahead and spill my drink behind me. Thankfully, there wasn't much in there, and it just hit the ground. But I'm noticing a bit of like some stripes going across the display. I'm guessing like the backlight maybe kind of suffering from old age too. Still, it's a decent machine. Don't get me wrong. It is old, but it is surprisingly capable for what it actually is. So, pretty much to stop myself from rambling on further, I'm going to go ahead and just end the video here because I really have said all I really want to say about this. I'm unsure what I'm going to do with this machine yet. I would kind of offer it up to Ryan, but he already has a mid-07 iMac. Could potentially use the processor out of it as an upgrade for his. I don't know what I plan to do with this machine, to be honest, and I'll have to think about it, but yeah, this still is a really neat little machine. Didn't think I'd get one for free, because somebody clearly spent a lot of money on this, so anyway, till next time, I will see you guys later.